Well, boys and girls, it's our time to come together again and talk about that strategy we learned yesterday on how we could close read, on how we could read a more difficult text, find clues to help us understand a text more. Does anybody remember what we called it? Faith.
Again and again.
Again and again. What is again and again? How? When would we know that we see it? Reagan?
When it says it like 2 or more times.
Okay, so says what?
Says it again and again.
But what? What am I looking for? Is it a word or a phrase or a picture? We were finding words that were the same, weren't we, yesterday? And so today we're going to talk about them. But before we get started on that, I just wanted to do a reminder of our reading salad. Did you guys do the reading salad this year?
No.
Do you remember the reading salad?
Yeah.
What's the reading salad? Yes, tell me. Do you remember what the reading salad's about?
No.
It's one of our strategies, one of our reading strategies. Oh, it's coming off, but thinking and text. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And when we have thinking and text together, remember we have all our salad, we have our thinking, here's our text, and here's our thinking, and we put it all together so that we could do what? Do you remember that strategy? Maddox?
So like we put it all together and so it'll make sense.
Right, we want to do real reading. This was our lesson that the teachers would say, are we fake reading or are we real reading? Because we can read words and not be thinking. But when we're thinking and reading the words, we're doing real reading. And when I was reading about again and again and close reading, this is what close reading is because you have to do some thinking when you're doing it. And when we think about our text and our thinking, we can infer, we can visualize, we can ask questions. I know you guys have been working on questioning this year. You've done a lot with that. Determining importance, monitoring our meaning. We do all of those things. So, let's go back to our books. Can you go ahead and open your books? And what's the name of our book again? Yes, ma'am. A Sweet Smell of Roses. And we decided yesterday that's the phrase that's repeated like at least 5 times. But now we have to figure out what this book is really trying to teach us. So let's go to where it says A Sweet Smell of Roses, not the title, but for the first time in the words. Can you find it? It's like on the first page. After a night of soft rain, there is a sweet smell of roses. As my sister Minnie and I slip past Mama's door and out of the house down Charlotte Street. What are you thinking? Think about the text and think about your thinking. What are you thinking about what's happening on this page? Doesn't have to be exactly what A Sweet Smell of Roses is, but what's happening on this page. Yes, Maddox?
They're like sneaking out of the house.
They are sneaking out of the house. And do you remember from yesterday where they're going?
They are going to like the it's like a big festival thing.
They're going to a march. They are. They're going to a march. Faith, what were you going to add?
They were going to like a parade that the king was putting on.
Dr. King was there, wasn't he? So the girls have snuck out of the house. But on this first page, and I should say the author's name, Angela Johnson. Angela Johnson wrote, "There's a sweet smell of roses as my sister and I slipped out of the house." Do you think she's just talking about what the roses smell like? Or do you think it has a deeper meaning? Deeper meaning. Do any of you have any idea what the deeper meaning could be yet? Or do we need to read it more times? Faith, what do you think? Why do you think it's love? Because you did mention that yesterday, and I said we would talk about it today.
Because when they were marching, it got bigger and bigger.
What got bigger and bigger?
Like the crowd and they smelled the roses.
Okay, so the crowd got bigger and bigger. They're marching. And what's Dr. King there talking about? He's talking about freedom, and you see more and more people coming, so you think that might be a feeling of love that the people have about what Dr. King is doing? Okay. Isaac, what are you thinking?
I think it's about hope.
Hope. Tell me why, and talk really loud.
Because it's like,
sweet when you're at victory, and it's not just like it smells good or something.
Okay, sweet because of victory. Would you write that down in your Post-it note? That is so good. And if you need to use your clipboard to do that, go right ahead. Maddox, talk a little bit louder, babe.
I'm thinking that like it's when like they're trying to get freedom from Dr. King. I think it's like Dr. King Martin something Jr.
Right, it is.
And I think he's talking about freedom with the because the black and white people should be like separated.
Okay, okay. Have you studied that this year?
A little.
A little bit? Okay. Mia, what are you thinking?
Freedom too, because Martin Luther King is trying to get them to freedom instead of being slaves for the rest of their lives.
Okay, yes.
I think it's freedom also,
Okay.
like Mia said, Martin Luther King Jr. He tried to, he wanted freedom.
Dr. King did want freedom, didn't he? So that everyone would be equal. So let's go ahead. We've got hope, we've got love, and we've got freedom. All of which could be themes of this book. Remember, it told us that if we notice when words are used again and again, that sometimes the answer to this question, why does this keep showing up again and again, might help us with a theme or a conflict in the story or what might happen later. And you've already come up with 3 great themes: love, hope, and freedom. So let's go find some more of the times that Miss Johnson wrote A Sweet Smell of Roses and see if we can find evidence that will help us. If you are on this page where you can see the flag and the march is starting, there is a sweet smell of roses as everyone waits for Dr. King to speak. Isaac, you were saying, I think, was it that the more and more people, or was that the love one? Love was more and more people, so you thought it was more love every time she used the sweet smell of roses. Tell me how you talked about hope again, Isaac.
I said it's like, it's sort of sweet to win something like Civil War or
Okay,
something like that.
okay, so sweet in the sense, it's meaning more than just the smell of the roses. It's also significant for the act of hope, or that they have hope for their march. Yes, Maddox.
More of like everything that's there is is black and white, or it is red. So from its roses and like there's been some flags and stuff. So it's maybe like America and like how much like beautiful it is because the roses like that.
Okay, this is what my ears heard. You tell me if, and I'm going to change it up just a little, and you tell me if this is what you mean. Are you saying that since the roses are red, and they use red, if the red could stand for our flag, the red could stand for our freedom? Is that what you were saying?
And love, kind of.
Okay, because roses can mean love. We give roses to people when we love them. Is that what you're saying to me, Maddox? Wow. Wow. What good thinkers you guys are. Exactly. Sydney, what are your thoughts?
And I realized that the pictures, they're black and white. Maybe that means that that some blacks and some whites, they're joining together.
Wow. Good job. Faith, what are you thinking?
I think they're trying to do X's since that's like the only colors of black and white. So he colored it like the colors of black and white.
Are you guys also telling me that the illustrator did again and again using the red? So we've got the words that are again and again, and we've got the color, the picture that's again and again. This author and this illustrator, they were really smart when they did this to help give you clues as you went on to find it. Let's look for one more. Or let's talk about one more. We know it's here. There's a sweet smell of roses, even as we march past. And they keep holding hands. Then there's the sweet smell of roses as more people come. Sweet smell of roses. It's almost on every page now. Now let's go to the very last page. And it ends with, and there is a sweet smell of roses all through our house. What do you think, Mia?
I think sweet smell of roses means like victory.
Victory of what?
Like that they got to freedom, and Americans didn't stand in their way.
The white Americans, okay. Maddox?
Yeah, it's love because they're kind of like happy, and the roses are like smelling everywhere. That means like more love and happy comes.
And where are they now on this page?
And it's the roses in front
Of what?
of the window
At
at their house.
their house. They're back with Mom. Remember you said that they snuck out? How do you think Mom was feeling? Sydney?
Oh no, where are my kids?
Oh no, where are my kids? Reagan?
They were probably feeling worried and like, did someone take them or something?
Exactly.
Like
She was probably very worried, and she probably knew the march was going on. So now that the author has ended it like this, what are you thinking?
Oh, I thought that the mom was like, oh no, did someone sneak in my house and take my kids?
She might have. Maddox?
Like she was scared and stuff.
Exactly.
And then like so once when they got in the house, she was kind of happy. So that's why the roses were there.
Maybe so. Maybe the girls brought freedom home with them too. Yes.
I think the mom had hope and love. So it's kind of like a little tree.
So you're bringing the hope and love together and the freedom and everything. Very cool. Boys and girls, I've made a paper because one thing you always need to do whenever you're doing something is do a little bit of writing about it. So if each of you could take one of those. Go ahead and get your clipboard and your pencil in front of you. Go ahead and put your name at the top. And I'd like you to just go ahead and fill out the sheet. It just tells you again and again at the top, and a sweet smell of roses. There are some questions I want you to answer. What is the idea or phrase that is repeated again and again? So just write it down. You know what it is and you've got your book. Why do you think the author keeps bringing up this idea? Put your thinking there, and we've talked all about it, so put what you've decided on. And then any final thoughts you have, please write those down.